Hi, I'm Paul Gaff, and today we're going to be working a little bit on introducing young horses and young riders to jumping skinnies and corners. Now the first thing to remember when jumping any fence, especially anything narrow or a little more technical, is the quality of your canter, the consistency of your rhythm and the straightness of your lines. Making sure that your horse understands the question so that then when you ask it, they can answer correctly. So I think using show jumps, poles, and making up mock cross-country fences is the safest way when introducing any horse or rider to skinnies or corners. It allows for mistakes. If the horses make a mistake, it doesn't matter. If the riders make a mistake, the horses aren't punished for it. So first things first, you want to set up your skinny, as I have done here, with the V poles on, to help guide the horse into the middle. And what I'm going to do is just come and trot up, back to walk in a straight line, walk my horse up to the question, let them be able to see the way through, and then I'm going to bring them back and then represent in trot to start off with. Now jumping out of trot again gives the horses time to think about where they're placing their feet, it gives the riders time to make any correctments or adjustments they need to. Once they're happily jumping that straight and out of trot, and I'm putting the canter, making sure they stay in a good rhythm. So the next step would be I take the guide poles away and just lie them down on the floor. Still keeping them there as a guide for the horses, but not actually pushing them through the middle of the fence. That's now your job as the rider to keep them between the hand and leg, and to do so. Again, good quality canter and a nice rhythm. Make sure you're straight. Next is we make it a little bit bigger for those who have progressed on to happily jumping through it small with the guide rails there, consistently straight, that they're locking onto the fence. And just to make it a little bit easier for them, to give them something to focus, I've just put the pole across the top so it doesn't give them a completely tiny object to jump over. You're giving them something to jump between with the wings, but giving them and yourself the narrowness of the barrel to ride towards. And as you can see there, it gives them something easy to jump over, and I feel that by keeping the wings there, you're not necessarily teaching your horse to jump a narrow object, but teaching your horse to lock on and jump between two uprights, so that when you're out competing and you've got wings or flags, the horses are able to lock on to jump between the objects rather than just over the narrowness of the fence. So moving on to jumping corners. I think the mindset of the rider is a very important thing when jumping corners. People make them quite difficult for themselves. All you've got to think of is that it is a narrow spread, okay? I, again, like to use the poles, as we have done here, and build a corner. and just use the filler and the ground rail as a guide for both horse and rider as to where it is we're wanting to teach the horses to jump it. Now, of course, at the lower levels, the wider part of the corner is never going to be too wide to be able to jump. But I think it's very important to train yourselves and your horses to jump the most easy, straightforward route. So if you haven't got poles with the paint on them, paint yourself some markers on the poles to aim to jump over. So to start off with, we're going to keep it very low and fairly narrow, so that it is just a little spread for the horses. And again, same rules apply as when jumping the skinny, coming in a good quality canter, consistent rhythm, and a straight line. So what we've done now is we've just made the corner a little bit wider, haven't put it up at all, again just to give the horses the confidence to keep coming and jumping on that same line. What we're going to show now is the straightness and where it is that we're wanting to aim to jump the corner. Again, consistent in the same way as you're jumping the skinny, you can start to make it bigger and wider. And we'll just show how, when we put it up much bigger and wider, how nothing changes. So what we've done now is we've taken the pole off the top and made it a little more narrow, and put the corner up a little bit and made it much wider. And what I want to demonstrate is that through correct training at the lower levels, keeping it small and keeping the horses straight, as they become bigger and more difficult, that the horses are able to stay in the same balance and jump the fences exactly the same way. Okay, so just to recap, a good quality canter, consistent rhythm, and a straight line. Scales of training are incredibly important. Rhythm, relaxation, suppleness, contact, impulsion, straightness, collection. And don't overcomplicate things. You're picking the easiest route and teaching the horse to jump through the uprights either side of the fence, not over necessarily just a narrow object. Okay, and with the corners, remember you're just jumping a narrow boxer. That's all. Happy training.